So over the last few weeks, I've gotten a lot of requests on doing videos on entrepreneurship having to do with family, how to run a business with family. What is it to be married to an entrepreneur? How is an entrepreneur supposed to be before you date somebody who's an entrepreneur? All these things that I put together because of you requesting it. Today, I decided to do an episode dedicated to mothers. Why I believe most mothers would make very good entrepreneurs. And this is from pure experience. And I've mentored a lot of different people. I've mentored single fathers, single mothers, husband and wives, ladies by themselves, mothers by themselves. And I can see certain strengths mothers have that helps them in their business. And you got to always know, you got to always lead with the strengths that you have when it comes down to business. And I think these are the strengths that mothers have that you need to tap into this to help it leverage your business to grow even faster and excel. So let me get right into it. I came up with 14 of them. I'm sure there's more, but I came up with 14 of them that I think is particular to moms. So let's start off with the first one. They tend to deliver bad news gently. There's something about the way a mother delivers bad news. They're a little bit more tender about it. They're a little bit more, understanding about it. They are more concerned about the other person's feelings on when they want to tell them, here's what happened, where the other person's taking it better versus a father may say, it doesn't matter, you're grounded, here's what you need to do, and it's boom. And then a kid goes in a room, it's like, you have no idea, have some feelings as well. Mothers are better at dealing with that than sometimes fathers are. That is a strength of yours when it comes down to dealing with business. Second one, natural leadership instincts. I think mothers have a very, you want to call it a sixth sense. They know things that are going on that maybe nobody else knows what's going on. They have leadership instincts. They can feel. And the reason why I think they can feel something, and you got to know one of the reasons why you have such an edge is because mothers tend to spend more time with kids than fathers do. And when you spend more time with kids, this is not in all cases, but when you spend more time with kids than fathers do, kids are all emotional. So your sensitivity towards emotion goes even higher than a man would or a father would because you're around it more. Kids are very good teachers. So can you imagine if kids are very, very good teachers, mothers are getting more teaching from kids than fathers are because kids teach us about emotions and feelings. So your natural ability to be able to read people is much better. This is why a lot of times a mother says, I don't get a good feeling about that person, or I don't get a good feeling about this. They have a certain intuition because they see it with their kids all the time. So you have natural leadership instinct that I don't know how to explain it. I think if it makes sense to you now, you pretty much know what I'm saying with this. Next one would be, point number 3 would be, you're not afraid to speak your mind. You're not afraid to speak your mind. I think mothers will approach problems and say, son, I don't like how you're handling this. Honey, I don't like how this is taking place. I don't like the way we did this. I don't know if we're doing the right thing here. Mothers will generally say this. Fathers may set aside the problems and just kind of go and say, oh, we'll figure it out. Mothers will bring it up. So they're naturally not afraid to speak their mind. And in business, it helps you a lot to talk about the things that are taking place in business. And it helps resolve issues sooner rather than delaying an issue that's going to take place that we have to resolve 7 months from now. Mothers do it now. Again, if you tap into that ability that you already have. Next, typically, and this is kind of a strange way of describing it. Man, we can learn a lot from this, but mothers, typically have other mothers that they confide in and they talk about their problems. So they have, I don't want to say mentors, it's natural mentors, but they have other people that they talk to that's in the same situation as them. So it allows them to release a certain frustration that you're having as a mother raising your kids because you see somebody else is going through it as well. So if you use that same ability and find other entrepreneurs to confide in who are in the similar situations as you, to understand you, and those who overcome, not those that necessarily want to say, well, this is why we can't run a business. I'm not talking about that. Just because you're a mother doesn't mean you're going to make a great entrepreneur. Let's get that part, open. And I'm not trying to be diplomatic here. I'm just telling you, just because somebody's a mother doesn't mean you're going to make a great entrepreneur. There's still negative and positive mothers. I'm talking about somebody who is positive, who is truly wanting to build a business. If you tap into that same ability to confide into your peers, to find out the situation they're in, and you do the same as a business and find that mentor, you'll generally find a way to solve that problem, overcome that issue that you're addressing at that time. Next is urgency. Mothers, entrepreneurs are urgent. The reason why they're urgent is because they have so many things going on. Drop off the kid, pick this up, food, boom, job, school, music, all this. You have so many things that they're more, okay, here's what I got. 10 minutes, 15-minute call, 20 minutes. There's a certain level of urgency when you're dealing with mothers because there's only 24 hours in a day and there's so many things that need to get done. And somehow, some way, they tend to get more things done. Mothers do. As entrepreneurs. Next is natural networking skills. I would say moms are very good at asking, who do you know? Who do you know that does this? Who do you know that does that? Who do you know that does this? Men, we tend to kind of think we know it all. We tend to think we don't need help. So networking wise, they don't mind asking anybody on who they know in this area and that. So they're very good on referrals. When it comes down to the area of asking for referrals, my gosh, I mean, I've had salespeople in our company, 54% of the agents in our company are ladies. And those who are some of the best producers in our company are mothers who are very good at working the referral market. And the referral market is, who do you know? And that comes from natural networking skills that you already have in place to use and apply. And remember, a lot of these things I may be saying right now, you're a mother watching this and you're saying, how come I don't use that skill? You gotta use it for it to work. So you have the muscle. It's almost like you have that weapon in your arsenal, but you're not using it. If you don't use these things in business, it won't do anything for you. You got to take these things and actually apply them, and you'll realize how simple it is because you've been doing it all your life already. Next is, point number 7 is there's a certain level of trustworthy for mothers. There's a certain level of trust. I don't know how to describe this. If somebody's selling me something and they're a mother and they have kids, I can tell you myself as a buyer, I trust. Because for me, I always think a mother's going to give the right feedback because she has a kid and she knows she doesn't want anybody to take advantage of her kid. So probably she's not going to want to take advantage of. So in my mind, as a person, I trust a mother selling in the area of business when it comes down to wanting to buy their product. Next one is emotions, tender-hearted. It goes back to when I told you they deliver bad news better, but this is more about the listening side. When I say emotions, they make better listeners. So if a client is wanting to buy something, and let's just say they sit there and say, well, let me tell you my experience with the last person I had. Tell me about it. Well, the last person I dealt with, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did that. How did that make you feel? It made me feel this way. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, John? What do you think about that, Mary? What are some things you would want to be different when you do business with somebody new? If somebody, they're very good at displaying that listening skills to hearing you out. And men, we just want to give the next big positive, popular answer to be impressed and say, did you hear that comeback I gave? Sometimes we forget we don't even know that. But mothers are very good at saying, okay, I'm hearing you out and we like to be heard out. And as a customer, we want to talk to somebody that's listening to our issues and our challenges, and hopefully they'll figure out a way to resolve it if we trust, which in a sense like this, we would, because we're dealing with a mother that's got a higher trusting rate than the rest. Next, they ask a lot of questions. Point number 9, when a kid comes home from school, practice again. Pick up how was school? What'd you learn today? What happened here? What did that guy say? What did that girl say? What's that girl's name? What does that girl do? Who's your best friend? Is that girl saying? Are you hanging out with that guy? What's Bobby doing? They want to know everything, right? Because think about it right now. You're like, oh my God, my mom asked me all the questions when I drive home and I know what she's trying to ask me. They're trying to figure out clues, right? So why is she hanging out? When I picked her up, she was talking to this guy. So tell me about that guy. Oh, so that was so, I like your friend. She was talking to that other guy, and that other guy's a senior, and her daughter's, let's just say, freshman. I noticed you were talking. Is that the football player? Yeah. Is he the quarterback? Good looking guy. Tell me about him. How many times you guys hang out? Mom's trying to find out if there's anything going on with that quarterback and a daughter. It's the same exact thing in sales. Or in business, a mother's asking questions to get to the issue of resolving to see if this may be a problem that they have to overcome later on when it comes down to asking for a check or asking for the sale. Well, I'm going to resolve this right now is what I need to do when it comes down to asking questions. No matter what happens, office situations, environment, leadership, it all comes down to the questions you're asking the people you're dealing with. So mothers, because they ask very good questions, they also make very, very good negotiators, which goes point number 10. They make very, very good negotiators. They negotiate with their kids. They negotiate with their husbands. They have to get the husbands to be willing to pay for something. They have to be getting the families to settle and come together. They have to be willing to put a birthday party where the in-laws don't want to get together with the other in-laws, and there's negotiation going on with the in-laws, and she's in the middle trying to get both parties to work together. There is so much negotiation going on with mothers that, it's just, there's a lot of skills that you have that there's not a price tag to put on there because you didn't go to university to learn this for $200,000. It's the life university that mothers go through. But you got to use those skills. You got to use those skills for business to see the results on it. Point number 11. They are superior multitaskers. This is not a debate here to say whether multitasking is real or not. I've done a video on that. You want to go debate that? Go watch that video. Mothers are better multitaskers. They hold a baby, they cook, and they talk to the husband simultaneously, 3 actions going on at the same time. They are better multitaskers. And sometimes in business, you're going to be doing multitasking quite a lot. Number 12, better problem solvers. They solve problems very well. But again, the practice they get on solving problems is on who? Kids. It's constant problems that they're facing with kids. So they have to become better problem solvers because they're getting practice nonstop with their kids already. Number 13, tolerance for pain. Tolerance for pain. I had to write this down because my wife's had 2 kids and she has 1 on the way. And I've been part of both of those deliveries. And I see some of the things mothers go through. Your tolerance for pain is unreal. There's a reason why you were chosen to be a mother, a woman. If you have a child, there's a reason you are where you are with that. You got to know there's a reason for that. And so your tolerance for pain, when it comes down to business, I once heard a lady who owned a business and raised kids, and she started a startup and she lost a couple startups and one of them worked. She said the closest thing a man will ever experience to giving birth to a baby is starting a company. This is the closest thing you'll ever experience. And I sat there and said, that's pretty interesting because it's very painful to start a business sometimes because you're going through having to learn so much all at the same time. But because mothers have a tolerance for pain, if they're able to channel that into business, they can leverage that into, use that as an upper hand for themselves as well. Point number 14 is event planning. You're generally better event planners, weddings, birthdays. You have so much practice doing that most of you have so much practice doing that when it comes down to business events, putting events together for business, you have an upper hand. You have a very big upper hand, and in business, it's all about putting nice events together, networking, taking care of people, hosting good events. When you put good events with charities and, whether it's profit or cigar or wine or, parties and all these types of things, this is when people come and who hosted this event, such and such. She put the event together, then everybody goes through her as a referral source. You have 200 cards. You just got your better event planner in business that helps you out a lot when it comes down to the business side. And then the last one is mothers tend to unite people. Okay, mothers bring kids together. Mothers tend to bring families together. Mothers tend to keep the siblings together. Mothers tend to keep the son and the father close together. Mothers tend to, bring when one of their kids is going through issues, relationship with their spouse, they tend to want to keep them together. They have a strength of unity and uniting people, and that helps you in business because in business, say a vendor and you don't get along, that you can bring it together and figure out a way to say, what are you not happy about? What are you not happy about? What is the number you want? We can't pay over this. What can we do about this? Can we make this work? We like you, you like us. We've been together for a while. Why don't we just try to make this work? Great. You want our business, right? Yes, we want your business. We've been together for 11 years. Do we really want to make this relationship be sour over one simple sale that we don't agree over $1,000? No. Why don't we make it work? What do we want? So unite. There's a strength in doing that. So you got 15 things. Now there's a lot more. I'd love to hear from you if you want to post it on the bottom and comment and let us know what I've missed here. But I could tell you one thing here. If you watch this, you're not a mother. But you know other people who are entrepreneurs and their mothers. Share this video with them. On behalf of Mother's Day, send them a happy Mother's Day and know that, there are a lot. For me, I look for, mothers that I do business with, and I see their strengths in business. They're incredible because they have certain skill sets that others don't have, and I need to bring it out in them and show it to them that you have this ability already. Let's put it to use. You've been doing this for the last 9 years with your 3 kids. Let's put this to use. You've been using these things for the last 17 years. You already know how to do this. Why aren't you doing this in business? Let's put that to use. So on behalf of all the mothers that also follow Valuetainment, and I get lots of nice messages from you, And we did a survey the other day. I listened to a lot of the comments that the mothers sent on the survey that we did. And we definitely want to let you know that I'm thankful for you as well. I am who I am as well because I had a single mother that raised me at some period as well. And there's some impact that was made on my life, tremendous impact that was made on my life. And want to give some love to all the mothers out there who are entrepreneurs. Go out there and use your strengths to your advantage so you can succeed as an entrepreneur as well. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please be sure to do so on the bottom here. And if you're watching this video somewhere else on a different website, visit patrickbydavid.com. Ilya, thank you. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.